Hey, welcome back to the Epic Web3 podcast. I'm Alex, CEO and co-founder of Epic Web3. I'm still traveling a bit, so out of my home studio, so you can see dogs barking on the back. But I hope I hope nobody cares about that. My today's guest is Mayur Relekar, founder of Arcana Network, which is basically a modular layer one powering chain abstraction, trying to make Web3 UX great again. So let's talk to Mayur, trying to understand what does it all mean. So hi Mayur, how is it going?
Hey Alex, thanks for having me here today, and things are going great. Very exciting times, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. So you founded Arcana around 5 years ago, in 2019, right? Uh,
2021, actually.
2021. So okay, so I did my I did bad research then. So but still it's three years. It was in the previous cycle.
Yeah,
Quite a lot of time for crypto. In crypto, one year is for three. So I assume the current vision of the company is probably much different from what it started with. So can you tell us a short story of how it started and how it evolved?
yeah, yeah, sure. No, actually, so you're right. We started in 2019, but we were not called Arcana. We actually started building a decentralized storage protocol, and we were actually able to kind of take a version of a protocol to market, only to realize nobody cares about decentralized storage. People are very happy to centralize storage because it was cheap, abundant, robust, worked. So there was like the general tendency of like don't fix what ain't broke sort of scenario. And honestly, the biggest benefit of decentralized storage was actually censorship resistance, which is again something we came to realize is most people don't care about most of the times. Uh, so we had to like pivot out of that, and we were going through these different sort of things. And what occurred to us, and it started to become very apparent, is that where our strengths lie is in deep tech, and also this general ability to kind of simplify things, to hide complexities. So I would say yes, of course, some like the detailed sort of version of what Arcana started out with is very different from what we have right now, but I think the essence of it is has remained the same, which is that we have always been in the business of abstractions, hiding complexities, and making the lives of like users and developers much easier. And I think our products that we've released so far and the stuff that we're working on now, it's kind of a testament to that.
Yeah. Okay. So when was your current vision born?
Yeah.
How long have you been working on this?
So yeah, chain abstraction came to us as a pure idea back in the middle of last year, and we we didn't know what to call it. So we actually called it like Arcana Credit, because in our minds it resembled like using a credit card or a debit card and paying in different currencies on different international websites, and it was the whole experience was seamless, right? Um, there are of course better analogies and examples today, but that's how it started. And so Arcana Credit was something that we started pitching to like people and saying, hey, imagine you didn't have to worry about where your funds were or what account your funds were in, but if you had this one way, like this metal card that allowed you to spend it, or some metaphorical version of a metal credit card, would that be cool? And if you had to like switch over from existing products and existing workflows, what would that mean to you? And so we got many interesting responses, so we had to like tweak our product, tweak our vision, and things like that. And beginning of this year there was this new meta, everyone called it chain abstraction, and a bunch of people started getting into it saying, we're building here, we're also doing this, this is our take on this. And right now it's all the rage, right? It's this very very clearly this meta that's capturing imaginations, and people are like clamoring to get into and be part of it, and get their names associated with in some way. And it's nice to see that something that we had thought of as an idea is now being realized as an actual like sub-culture or sub-industry within the space.
Yeah, got you. So, tell us about the current products. So you're offering several products
Yeah,
helping to democratize UX in Web3. So you provide gasless transactions,
yeah,
social login, email login, also
yeah,
sending crypto via email. So tell us a
yeah.
couple of words about how it works.
Yeah, so they're all just forms of abstraction, like the social login or the email login that gives users a non-custodial wallet in the app or an in-app wallet is wallet abstraction, right? Or seed phrase private key abstraction, if you want to call it that. We also have another SDK which allows developers to sponsor gas fees. This is built on top of ERC 4337, and this is gas abstraction. And almost logically, what you go on to next is chain abstraction, because if you think about it, wallet abstraction is getting people from your landing page to your home page. Gas abstraction is what gets them from your home page to the checkout page. And chain abstraction is what allows them to make a payment very easily and complete checkout and complete the sale for you and the purchase for me as the user.
Okay, and so is it correct that you're providing technologies for other builders, right? So you work like more like a B2B protocol, B2B
Yeah.
company, B2
I
developer
mean,
company.
most definitely. But we also have like a slightly spicy take here where we believe like the whole space is filled with a lot of people who build a lot of infra and stop at a certain level in the hope that someone will come and build with them. And in our experience of having done B2B in the past, it is clear that there's simply not enough. There's not like a raging builder market ready to like consume all this different infrastructure, which I would say is, we've gotten to a great point of maturity. But so in the absence of that, of like great builders building great products in large numbers, what we decided is, let's do something different with our go to market, especially with the chain abstraction, and let's actually build out a product which showcases this protocol that we're building, and let's push this as our go to market, because we know that there are users and we know that DeFi exists and does quite well. I mean, you could probably say 90% of crypto value is accounted in DeFi apps, right? So let's cater to that market and let's do it in the most logical way. And let's be bold. Let's take some risks. Let's not stop one step before and hope for other people to solve the actual last mile of delivery to the user. Let us deliver it and let's put out a product. So that's what we're doing right now, is that we're actually building a wallet that has chain abstraction capabilities, and we want to distribute this to users and show them the actual magic instead of drawing diagrams and flow charts and all of these sorts of more theoretical things.
Is it already live? I think I didn't find one when I
It isn't
did my research.
it isn't live. Yeah, but we put out 3 demos with live tokens, with like real mainnet tokens. We did a demo of on Aave, where I went to Aave on Arbitrum and I was able to supply USDC, which I held on Optimism, all in one click in under 15 seconds. And I didn't have to switch context. Like I didn't have to go to a bridge, move funds, get them, then supply on Aave on Arbitrum. I was just able to do it in one click. Then we did a demo on Uniswap where you were able to swap your USDC for ETH, where you clubbed your assets from 2 chains and were able to supply it for the swap. Right, I held it on Arbitrum and Optimism, but I used the combined balance to swap to ETH. So this would typically need me to switch, like basically convert from one chain to the other before I did the swap, but we were able to do that. The third demo that we just put out a couple of days ago was the one on Polymarket. Polymarket, as if you ever used it, is requires you to deposit USDC on Polygon or ETH, right? So Uh, what if I didn't have USDC on either of these chains? What if I didn't have Matic or ETH for gas? So we showed in our demo how you can basically deposit USDC from holding them on any chains. And even if you didn't have, say, for example, Matic to pay for gas, you would get supplied the Matic as well that you need to pay for the gas. And one click, you get the liquidity, your deposit transaction, Polymarket gets submitted, and now you're able to kind of go and start placing bets on who's winning the American election.
Yeah, that's really sounds like super important features for crypto payments, for crypto transactions. But what do you think? So, is this wallet just a demo for you? So to showcase the capabilities of the technology, or do you have plans to build a standalone product to build user base, develop it like as a B2C product?
So so we're definitely going down both directions. We essentially have an SDK that's being consumed by this wallet. So this SDK can be consumed by any other app. That's perfectly fine. But what we've learned in our B2B sort of like journey is very clearly that if you do not, you have to be able to showcase your infra or your middleware or your tooling in a form that a consumer can appreciate, touch and feel, essentially, right? So we definitely want to kind of make that very clear push on the product side. But the goal is to just showcase the capabilities and what great UX should look like. And tomorrow it could be another wallet or another app that has massive distribution that sees this, and our users are looking and saying, why can't I have this in your app? And we want to then become like the provider for those people. And the fundamental goal is more and more people should be able to use this. Our capability to distribute this wallet should not be the limiting factor. So the more people that get to experience this and use this means that we build demand, we grow the pie for everybody. So that's the goal.
Yeah, this is very nice thought that if you're building a B2B product, you need to eat your food,
Yeah,
right? Eat
yeah,
your
yeah,
own food, just a little, at least a little bit. Yeah, because developers are also people, right? So
yep,
it's easier for them if they see some products live, they can test the technologies. Uh,
yeah.
Okay. Why do you call it layer one? Why do you call it modular layer one? Why don't call it, I don't know, protocol or something like this?
So in essence, I'll be honest. A lot of this is just marketing, right? You calling it a modular layer one explains like things to a certain segment, to an audience segment that cares about these sorts of things. For everyone else, it's just words, right? It's just fluff. But essentially, that's what we are. We are a modular layer one building on top of like the Cosmos stack. And the reason why we want to mention modular, we are of course an L1 because we are our own chain. We have our own validators. That's where our token utility comes. It's through the staking. So we want to make those points clear to a certain audience. We want to say modular because the thing with chain abstraction is it's beautiful when you see this magic happen, right? I have funds on 3 different chains, but I want to spend it on a 4th chain, and it just happens. That's great. But the only way this works is if you make security uh, abundant for the user, where they don't have to like overthink it themselves. And the way you can do security nowadays is you have many interesting ways, especially if you're modular. So there are interesting ways in which you could basically go and build an AVS on EigenLayer and have two like two essentially quorums for security. So you have the Arcana network and its validators, and you have the ETH validators who opt in through the AVS to be able to kind of basically vet these transactions. And now you have these two quorums, and you can choose when you want to activate both quorums. So if someone wants to come to our network and says, I have a million USDC, and I want to basically spend it on another chain, almost all bridges will say no to you right now. But how do we make this happen? So what we do is we augment the security with this. The other thing that we can also do is, if we are modular, and we're currently working on this with our partners at Avail, they have a product called Nexus, which essentially aggregates these proofs, and they intend to kind of deliver like certificates of certain actions that have happened on certain chains, which basically lifts the security of the entire system and not base it only on our validator network, right? So this is what we want to be able to deliver, and that's why we say the things we say.
Yeah, from technical perspective, would it be possible for you to make what you to do what you do without having your own chain, without having your own validators, nodes, all these things?
You could, but you will lose out on efficiency, and consequently the experience will suffer. That's our take. There are many people who are doing this with just smart contracts. There are many people who are doing this without a chain, or they're becoming like say a centralized, like say a middleware that just exists between two other layers. There are different approaches, and I'm not saying ours is the best. We chose our approach to kind of stay true to like decentralization, but also try and make sure that we are as efficient as possible, right? So if it was only a smart contract based solution, we'd have to have these pretty heavy duty smart contracts on every chain that we want to support, because then all the logic resides here. And the second you do that, then you're basically, the block space of that chain is what you're dependent on for your operation. But now, with our own chain orchestrating and doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to the business logic, some verification, some checks, etc., is that we can do the whole chain block space is meant for only us and our users and our protocol. That's the important point. And if we can bootstrap enough like sort of economic security into it through the staking, then it will be fairly secure. It won't be as secure as like in Ethereum or some of these other chains. But this is where we can start to borrow more security from the likes of, say, Eigenlayer, Babylon, and even Avail, for that matter. So whatever we lose out on security and gain in efficiency and speed, we can make up for through some of these other things. So which is why we feel our approach is pretty credible.
Why do you need token? Is it also for security reasons, or there are some other reasons why do you need it?
Yeah, fundamentally that, right? So if we want to go down this route of having an orchestration layer, essentially a state machine that helps users do all of these lovely things, this chain abstraction protocol working well, and you want to do it through like an unopinionated, decentralized orchestration state machine, then you need to it needs to have security because it's decentralized, right? So you need and that security, essentially the way we've come to know is possible in blockchains is through a native token. And that's the precise purpose of it, because majority of the transactions on the chain will be like $10, $50, $100 worth of assets, and those things need to go through fast. We don't need to bring all of Ethereum security for that transaction. The millions of dollars that will be staked on our chain will be enough for that, because no one's going to like break economic security on our chain to try and gain $100, right? So that is the precise purpose of the token.
Okay, I'll ask a couple more questions about the token a little bit later. Uh, can you describe what are your favorite use cases for developers, for app developers using Arcana network as a protocol, as a technology?
Yeah, I mean, we we were just speaking today to like some of these projects. I can't name them right now, but like there's a very popular perp dex on a very popular L2, and there in their use case, you can only deposit a certain token on that particular chain on which they're built. Now, I may not have all of that particular asset on that chain, but I still want to be able to that do these deposits, right? So as a user, I want to kind of maximize the opportunity I have because I saw something trending or some real value to be had on this DEX. And the perp DEX itself wants to maximize TVL, right? Maximize volumes, trading volumes, deposit volumes. So if I held only say 10 units or 10 USDC on chain A, but I had 50 more on chain B and C, if I'm able to kind of allow you to deposit all 60 in one button click, then it's very likely that I'll do that to be able to maximize my output, my gains, my ROI as a user, and that's fantastic for the platform. So these are some of the use cases that we are seeing, and generally in DeFi, right? If for example, if I go to like a meme coin marketplace, some DEX which trading meme coins, let's say it's on Base or it's on Solana, and there's suddenly this very hot information that you've gotten about a meme coin that's about to like rip, but you have no assets there. You have no ETH on Base. You have no what do you call Sol on Solana, for example. What do? Right, you have to end up bridging assets, and typically, if you're going across like ecosystems, you have to wait much longer. By then, the opportunity is probably gone, right? And but what if you could do it in one click, and you could do it in a matter of seconds? You could do it instantly on the app that you were going to buy this meme coin on. That would be like an easy order of magnitude improvement in experience for the user. So, I mean, these are sort of use cases that we want to make possible. I think we've all been through that point where someone has given us some insider news, and then you're like, shit, but I don't have gas. Oh, damn, I don't have this token on this chain. Now I have to bridge. I go to Jumper. I go to this. I go to that. I go to Binance. I try and buy some, ETH, those sorts of things. And by the time all of this happens, it's all like cooled off. So, yeah, these are
Yeah, I know
things
this
that
pain.
I'm
I know this
essentially.
pain myself as a user. Who do you consider to be your competitors?
Oh, yeah. There are quite a few very, very interesting projects with very, very interesting, I would say, like approaches to solving this. And right now, it's a very collaborative environment. Everyone is everyone's friends. Everyone's like sharing knowledge, and it's nice. It's the early days, right? And eventually, everyone will be at everyone's neck. I mean, trying to get get gets competitive, and that's good as long as competition is healthy. It's fantastic. We're off to a very good start. So I would say, the likes of say, like a particle network. I think they're doing a great job. They are very, I would say, closest to us in terms of like their approach, the way the way they want to solve the problem, and things like that. So definitely them. There are a bunch of others, like I would say, the guys at Orbs. I would say Uniswap clearly wants to do something like this. The guys at Socket are doing a fantastic job with whatever they've been able to kind of talk about till date. Yeah, generally exciting times in the space. Lots of activity, lots of buzz. It's nice.
What is the business model? How do you earn revenue now? What are your plans to earn revenue? So I know now it's time even for crypto projects to 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 finally start earning some money at least some. So what are your plans on this?
Yeah, no, of course. Very clearly, it has to be a revenue model, that leads to profit. Profit that leads to value accrual in your token if you have a token. Is the way to go. Our entire market is definitely getting more and more mature, and we're heading more in that direction. And that's good to see. I think real useful stuff will now start getting built. Capital will get allocated more correctly instead of like spray and pray in general. So for us, it's very clear. It has to be like a protocol fee. In the end, if you are able to provide a certain convenience, the user will pay you for that convenience. Period. Now, how much they pay you is dependent on how much you improve their lives, right? How much of a painkiller is your product as opposed to being like a vitamin? Like, is it a need to have or is it a good to have, right? And so I believe that chain abstraction is definitely a painkiller. It solves a very important point in the day-to-day lives of users. It can open up so many possibilities for app developers, and that's what we want to kind of make happen. And I think if you do this, there is value to be had. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah. Okay. And so about the token launch, can you tell us a couple of words about when you did the token launch in April, right?
Yeah.
What was the most difficult thing in preparation, in launching it, in marketing, and I don't know, market making? Tell us a little bit about the process from inside.
Yeah, I mean, it's there are things I can't exactly share, but I will tell you it's definitely one of the most stressful things that you can do. You have literally launched another company, another product that day, and uh, the launch, of course, is very stressful because you're coordinating so many actors. You have your marketing, and there are a bunch of people there. You have your market makers. You have your the exchanges. You want to time it on different exchanges. Then you have all these other things that immediately happen in the few hours that happen after launch. You need to coordinate all of that, and everything needs to go smooth. One thing goes haywire, everything goes haywire. And yeah, all I can say is that it's extremely stressful. You need to get it right. You need to kind of partner with the right people. Make sure you plan this to the T, and it's definitely not a small undertaking. I think kudos to everyone who's managed to launch and list and those sorts of things. It is definitely non-trivial. And then thereafter, you have to think of yourself as a public company. You now have arbitrary people you've never met, never heard of, who are now bought your token and are in a sense like a shareholder, not precisely, but in some sense. Uh, and then you have, as a founder, all these fiduciary responsibilities towards these people, and you need to do right by everyone, including your team, yourself, these people, your existing investors who've been backing you for quite some time. And the only way you do it is you keep building to kind of generate more and more value. And that's the path we are on right now. That's what we want to do: generate as much value as we can and have that all translate into ROI for investors and those people.
What would you recommend to other projects? Would you recommend to launch a token or not to do it if they can? What would be your recommendation here from your experience?
I mean, see, honestly, it's extremely subjective. For us, it's been clear that from day one we wanted to be a public goods company. We do not we're we're very philosophical like that. We're into the ethos of like crypto, Web3, blockchains, all of the decentralization, all of the sorts of things. We want to be able to build a company that has built a certain value that lasts beyond us, beyond the existence of a company that runs it and manages it today. So for us, it was always clear that we want to go down the token route. You need not want to do any of these things that I just mentioned and still deliver value to everyone involved in your sort of thing. Uh, but if it is clear to you that you want to and need to launch a token, then the big problem is that if you compare it with like your token generation event with like say an IPO, companies typically IPO like many years into existence, right? So you start, you raise capital, you build a product, you build multiple variations, you get PMF, you get years and years of steady revenue, and then you IPO, right? You raise public capital, and then you become a public company. By then, you will have reached a certain level in terms of maturity of not only the company but teams within the company, processes within the company, and you don't have that liberty in Web3. Because usually it's like, I'm not talking about the meme coin world. Meme coin world, people decide one thing today, next day token launched, everything is you're public. I'm talking about like other projects in the space. They still, it's like 1 year into existence, 2 years into existence, they have to launch. There is that pressure from people. and there is this general tendency you want to time the market, so you are in a bull run, so your token does well. All those things exist, right? But you are still very immature as a company, as a business, as an enterprise, as an entity, and you need to kind of make sure that you've ticked all those boxes, you crossed your t's, you dotted your i's in terms of planning towards this. Like, why do you want to do this? How are we going to do this? What's going to happen after we do this? It can come as a brutal shock. We thought we had everything planned and figured out, but it, clearly we didn't. So but it's great, and it's very phenomenal way to kind of build character. I wouldn't recommend it, but if it's clear in your head, then preparedness for it is next level. You have to give it time of day.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Last question. So about Web3 UX, what do you think of the future of the next couple of years? How Web3 UX will change? What are the main things that should
Yeah,
happen?
I think it's very exciting times. I think we are headed in the right direction. I think we basically, we've been speaking about crypto mass adoption for years and years. Now it's become a meme because we are probably number of new people coming into crypto is probably this trickle compared to like few years ago when people were very excited and we saw this huge influx of people from literally all industries, right? And now it's not. But I think we are now going to build in the right way where we don't have to like cater to like mass hysteria and hype. We cater to like serious people wanting to do serious stuff in the space, even if it's meme coins, right? You're speculating on meme coins. That's serious stuff. So whatever it may be, it's going. I think we are at a place right now where there is enough maturity in teams and in infrastructure for people to come and build high quality applications and really focus on their core value proposition and not have to worry about, oh, should I build on this chain because it has these many users, or that chain because they're giving me that grant, or this chain because that's where a lot of liquidity seems to be headed. You don't need to worry about all of that, right? We are right now at a place where we're going to aggregate the liquidity in a user's wallet. Then these our chain protocols and like the OPs and the polygons and the arbitrums of the world are and the zk syncs of the world are looking to kind of aggregate liquidity at a protocol level. And once we have that, then people should just be able to build beautiful apps wherever they want to, and then access users, because users it will be just like chainless. They'll just go to an app they like and be able to use it, and for a fee they'll be able to just interact with it, no problem.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mayur. Thanks for coming. Thanks for exciting conversation. I wish Arcana all the best. We will keep an eye on the project. Hope the project will grow. Hope the token will rise and everything. And yeah, see you in real life at our events, at other events in Singapore, in Bangkok, wherever you are. And yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks Mayur for coming.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for having me, and yeah, look forward to meeting you guys.